easily equate to hundreds of these tier 3 rewards alone every single day, and hundreds of those other tier rewards as well. So yeah. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Grow Garden video. Today I'm going to go over literally everything they added in the new seed stages update, as well as by far the most effective way to farm this event to get literally tons of rewards. When I say tons of rewards, I'm talking about one of these stage 3 rewards every couple of minutes, which is actually insane considering how good these rewards are. And then I'll be talking about all the ways you can go ahead and actually AFK this event, because it is possible. So if you enjoy this video, find it useful, just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods for Grow Garden, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And thank you all so much for getting me to 90k subscribers. We are so close to 100k. That being said, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into the video. Okay, so today we got the new seed stages update, and I first want to talk about everything they added. So first, let's talk about the seed stages event itself. They added in a new event area, so I guess it is an event, not a permanent addition to the game. I don't understand what they're doing. Honestly, it's kind of making me a little mad, the fact that they said they're going to focus on long-term content, and then they released something this trivial and small as just an event. But it's actually pretty simple. This NPC has its own shop with stage 1 versions of the seeds. It restocks every 5 minutes, and then you can go ahead and plant those stage 1 seeds, grow them into the stage 1 plant, and donate it back to the NPC for a reward, as well as a stage 2 seed. You grow that stage 2 seed, donate it to the NPC, get a stage 3 seed, as well as another reward, and then you do this for stage 3 plant as well to get the stage 4 seed, which is absolutely useless. But you do get some pretty insane rewards. Now, there's also some stuff when it comes to actually growing these plants, but I'll talk about this in a little bit when I actually go into the best way to farm this event. But besides that, we have a new huge addition called the Pass. Basically just a battle pass, but for Grow a Garden. The rewards are really underwhelming, especially for like 800 Robux just for a 30-day pass. But if you want to buy it, you can, and you'll get some decent stuff. The best thing in here is the multi-trap seed, quote unquote best thing. Honestly, it's not even that great looking at its stats. You will give your chance to earn a ton of pass points, which you can then go ahead and spend in the store and get interesting stuff like the Grow All item. And I think that's pretty much the only interesting thing in here. But in order to level up your pass, you do go ahead and complete some quests to earn XP. But honestly, I am not a huge fan of this quest system. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section. Now, as a reward in this list, you can also get the new jungle egg. It has some interesting pets. Their abilities aren't too crazy, and this egg is not a limited egg. If you go ahead and look at the egg info, you can actually see the jungle egg has a 2% chance to show up in shops. So it is buyable from the regular egg shop, and it's not a limited egg. But that is literally the bulk of the update. I don't think I've ever had such a fast update recap. However, let's go over some small changes. There were a few new weathers and mutations and mutation combos added, including Plagued, Astral, and Sizzled. There's a new Transcendent seed available in the seed shop. However, this seed is not too amazing. It has really good base value, literally the most expensive plant in the game, but its huge chance is absolutely atrocious. So getting a huge one, which is where the value actually comes from when it comes to growing plants, is not really going to be possible, meaning this Transcendent is pretty much useless and way worse than the Maple Resin or the Bone Blossom. So yeah, that was basically everything added in this update, beside a few small tweaks and changes. But let's talk about how you can actually farm this event. So in order to actually get rewards from this event, the main part is obviously coming from submitting these Evo plants to the NPC to get the different rewards, especially those stage 3 rewards, which are actually really good for how easy you can get them. Now, obviously you want to be buying the stage 1 seeds every single time the shop restocks. No matter what, you're going to see a beetroot in here, and you're going to see some other seeds in here as well. But honestly, I don't really see a difference between the rarity. All it really affects is the shekel value, which is not important at all because all these seeds are really bad in the grand scheme of things compared to a Maple Resin or Bone Blossom. You're going to want to buy every seed regardless, and then it's time to grow them. Now, this can be a little bit of a daunting task, but there are a few things you can do to help the seed grow. Most importantly, using a watering can. The watering can is super good. You'll notice if I use one watering can on here, it already goes up to 22 times the speed. If you use it 4 times, it goes up to 100 times the speed, which is the most it can go up to, but it does deplete over time. But because of this, go and buy those watering cans every 5 minutes. If you haven't AFK'd a ton of them like I have, you need to start buying watering cans from the gear shop every single 5 minutes that they restock. Now, you can go ahead and tend to the crop by using like foods or fruits. However, it doesn't really do much, and all it increases is the size bonus. The only way to increase the growth speed is from using gears, which is definitely the most important thing for me. The size bonus does not affect the rewards you are getting, so it doesn't really matter. If you really want, you can also go ahead and use sprinklers, but as you can see, a Grandmaster sprinkler literally only gets it up to a 3x, while using a watering can brings it up to a 24x within one splash. Now, that being said, there's one more thing you can do to actually insanely increase the growth of these Evo plants, which is to use pixies. Now, this pet seems to be the only one to increase growth speed. If you have any other pets that you know of that actually work, go ahead and drop them in the comments and I'll add them to the pinned comment in the comment section. I already tested out the Triceratops. It does not work. It rams the plant, but does not actually grow them. And the same thing with the Echo Frog. Now, these pets are limited. They were from a little bit ago. All you really need to do is place down your Evo seeds, wait for the pixies to activate their abilities, and there we go. Once they activate their abilities, go ahead and use some watering cans on those plants, and you'll notice they grow basically instantly. All of these plants are just instantly done within one splash from the watering can. So using pixies is going to be really, really good because they basically instantly grow any plant as long as you splash it once with a watering can while the pixie passive is active. Now, for those wondering, I did go ahead and try duplication pets like the Stegosaurus, and no, they do not duplicate these plants, which is a bit unfortunate. So it looks like growth boosting plants, specifically the pixie and possibly some other ones, but not the Triceratops or Echo Frog, will be useful. And then lastly, do not grow all of your Evo plants one at a time. Wait to stock up on a ton of Evo tier 1 seeds, like probably 2 or 3 hours worth of just buying the restocks, as well as obviously get some watering cans if you don't have any, then grow them all at once in the same area, kind of like you saw me do with those pixies, so that you're conserving your watering cans and you are using your time in the best way possible, because obviously doing them one at a time is going to take forever. So putting that all together, the best way to farm this event is going to be stocking up on a ton of those seeds, some watering cans, getting a few pixies if you can get some, and then growing all those Evo seeds at once using those pixies as well as using those watering cans. The pixies are going to make it basically instant, but if you have enough watering cans, it won't be an issue. And then go through the stages with all those seeds, donate all the tier 3s you get from all those seeds, get a ton of those rewards, and then spend some time stocking up on the seeds again. Now, trust me, these rewards are actually really, really insane for how easy they are to get. So you definitely want to do this as much as you can before this event is over. Now let's talk about how you can AFK this event. This event is actually pretty simple to AFK relative to the other events we've had. Regardless, you do need a program to do this. On mobile, there's a program called GC Autoclicker. This will be perfect for this type of macro because you don't really need to do too many actions, but there might be other useful macros. Go ahead and drop some suggestions in the comment if you are a mobile player for other mobile players. But for PC, I like to use Tiny Task. It's linked in the description. It is safe. I linked the most official download link. It is a web archived version of the link from the official creators of Tiny Task before their domain was bought, so it is as official as it gets, and it is as safe as it gets. It does record your keys because that is the nature of its program, to actually record and play back your keys, so it might get false flagged, but if you've been around the Roblox community for a little bit, you definitely have seen Tiny Task and have probably used it yourself. Now, once you have Tiny Task, it's pretty simple. Open the settings here, make sure continuous playback is on. That's going to make sure it'll loop infinitely until you stop it. And make sure you know what your recording and playback hotkeys are. The recording hotkeys are what you're going to use to record the macro, and the playback is going to be what you click to actually let the macro loop over and over again in AFK. So now that you have Tiny Task or any other macro program, it is time to talk about the AFK-able method. It will let you AFK buy all the seeds in the shop, and if you want, you can go ahead and also AFK buy watering cans or any other gear if you really want to, or any of the other stuff if you really want to, but it is not going to grow the seeds for you. You will have to come back like after a day, 12 hours, however long you want to AFK, and then manually grow the seeds. But using those pixies, like I mentioned earlier, you can instantly grow the seeds literally within 1 or 2 splashes of a watering can as long as the passives are active. So no matter how many seeds you get, growing them all to get the tier 3 rewards will take literally like 5 minutes, and then you can AFK again, buy more seeds, buy whatever you want, etc. But it's pretty simple. If you want to strictly buy the seeds like I do, just open up the seed shop, open up your Tiny Task, go ahead and start recording, buy the beetroot, buy the blueberries, buy the pumpkin, buy the mushroom, and then just go up on the menu by clicking on the different icons here, and then just stop recording on your macro, and that is literally it. Click the playback key and it'll infinitely loop back buying seeds for you, so you can AFK as many seeds as you want, and then obviously come back and grow them all for the rewards. Currently, this is all the macro. I don't even have my hand on the mouse. Now, if you do want to add buying gears into this, you do need to get a few event lanterns. I'd recommend you get a few hundred. They are really, really simple to craft. It literally takes 10 seconds to craft 30, but all you would want to do is make sure you have some recall wrenches and event lanterns in your hotbar. Start recording on your macro. Use the recall wrench, open up the gear shop, buy those watering cans, maybe buy anything else you want, including those recall wrenches, and then go back to the very top, either using the scroll bar or just shuffling through the menu, end off on the top, close the menu, use your event lantern, talk to the seed shop owner, open the seed shop, and then shuffle through the seed shop again, buying all these seeds. Once again, end off at the very top using the scroll bar or shuffling through the menu. I like to shuffle, it's just more consistent. And then to conserve your recall wrenches and event lanterns, wait like 3 or 4 minutes and then stop recording. So it's not going to be using an event lantern and recall wrench like every minute as it's looping so fast. Now, I was going to go over how you can fully AFK this event, including growing the plants, but honestly, it is not worth the time it takes to set up the macro or the hassle, considering you can use the other AFK method I talked about where you can buy the seeds, buy the gears, and then once you're done AFK, you can come back and literally instantly grow all your Evo seeds within one of these Pixie's passive abilities and get all those tier 1 seeds to tier 4 in less than 10 minutes. But if you are interested in fully AFKing it, the rough layout would be putting all the tier 4s in your hotbar, starting off your macro by refreshing your Pixie team just to let the passives reset, looking up to the pancake stacks, placing down all your seeds, waiting for the Pixie's abilities to activate, then using a watering can to make sure they grow, collecting all the plants, using your event lantern to go to the event area, submitting all the plants you get to the NPC, then buying all the seeds he's currently selling. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and use a recall wrench, buy watering cans, recall wrenches, or any other gears, and then you would stop the loop at the very start here. But personally, I don't think it's worth the hassle, and the other AFK method is basically just as good. All you have to do is spend like 10 minutes every day growing the seeds you get, submitting them for rewards, and you'll actually be there to see what rewards you're getting. So yeah, that is everything added in the new update, the best method to farm this update, grow the plants, everything you need to know, as well as the best way to AFK this event, so you only need to spend like 5, maybe even 10 minutes a day growing your plants and submitting them for a ton of rewards, like basically unlimited rewards. And considering you get at least 1 seed and sometimes even 2 or 3 every single 5 minutes, it'll easily equate to hundreds of these tier 3 rewards alone every single day and hundreds of those other tier rewards as well. So yeah, definitely start doing this as fast as you possibly can, because it will definitely be worth it for all these rewards. Now, all in all, I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion on this update. I don't think a lot of people realize how simple it is really to get a ton of rewards from it, but the player base clearly is not happy. The player count has already dropped below 1 million after 2 hours since the update released, and I just released the poll to see your guys' opinion, and there's already 22 votes, and the results do not seem too great so far. Yeah, Grow Garden is still definitely dying. This update did not change anything. I really hope they do not do a part 2 for this update. We need something fun, something enjoyable. This is really just a grindy event. You get really good rewards, but at the end of the day, what are you going to use the rewards for if there's nothing to work towards? But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, found it useful, or just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods for Grow Garden, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you all again so much for getting me to 90k subscribers. I really appreciate all the support. Let's get to 100k before the end of the year. That'd be really awesome. I hope you all have an amazing day and good luck gardening.